On Monday, June 30th, 2025, an unprecedented natural disaster struck several regions across the European Alps, unleashing chaos in parts of France, Austria, and northern Italy. What began as a prolonged heat wave quickly escalated into a massive environmental crisis when intense thunderstorms swept through the mountains, bringing with them torrential rain, landslides, and widespread flooding. The heat of the previous days had dried out the Alpine soil, leaving it brittle and incapable of absorbing the downpour. As a result, rivers and streams rapidly overflowed, and hillsides collapsed, affecting towns nestled along the mountain valleys. In France, the Department of Seavoi experienced some of the most severe consequences. The municipalities of Modane, Forno, and Saint-Colomban-de-Villars were heavily impacted. In Forno, the Charma stream burst its banks violently, dragging mud, debris, and stones into the streets. Streets, homes, and local businesses were soon underwater, with flood levels reaching up to 50 centimeters. Shops closed in a hurry, residents scrambled to safety, and emergency alerts were issued throughout the region. Modane faced similar devastation. Murky floodwaters rushed through the town, inundating basements and overwhelming the drainage system. A strong smell of fuel lingered in the air, raising suspicions that heating oil from underground storage had been swept away. School number 40 was forced to shut down due to flooding on its premises, and local community halls served as emergency shelters. About 15 residents had to be evacuated from those centers as the waters rose. Simultaneously, around 300 homes lost electricity as power infrastructure was damaged by the storm. Road access became another major challenge. The RD-215 route was partially reopened for light vehicles, but RD-106 in Saint-Colomban-de-Villars and the RD-1006 road remained completely closed due to water blockage. Rail transportation was severely disrupted as well. The station in Modane ceased operations after the tracks were submerged, and trains between France and Italy, including the Paris-Rome line, were suspended indefinitely. The task of assessing rail damage was delegated to the company Siena Frazzo, as cleanup and inspection teams rushed to the scene. In the Austrian province of Tyrol, the town of Schnitz faced a parallel emergency. The heavy rainfall destabilized the terrain and triggered major landslides. Behind the parish church of Maria Schnee, huge sections of land gave way, burying large areas and destroying the open-air Neuendorf Museum, known for its historic wooden watermills. Mountain lodges in the region were cut off from access, forcing the evacuation of over 100 people by helicopter. The Tyrolean Crisis Management Center declared the situation critical and activated all its emergency protocols. Remarkably, no fatalities were reported in either country. However, dozens of people sustained injuries and were transported to nearby hospitals by emergency teams. The rapid deployment of firefighters, police units, engineers, volunteers, and search and rescue personnel played a key role in preventing a larger catastrophe. Efforts continued throughout the night and into the following day, with heavy machinery pumping out water and clearing debris from affected neighborhoods. Meanwhile, in Italy's Alpine region near Turin, the unstable weather pattern triggered a massive landslide. Rain-saturated slopes gave way, sending torrents of rocks, earth, and tree trunks tumbling into inhabited areas. Several rural villages were affected, and transportation routes were buried or blocked. The Italian government declared a state of emergency and mobilized military forces, firefighters, and volunteers to assist with rescue and recovery. In the town of Seavoi, located near Forno, another mud surge struck on the same Monday. According to meteorological data, rainfall reached up to 200 liters per square meter, far exceeding the average for an entire month. Visuals from the scene were harrowing: trapped vehicles, knee-deep mud, flooded homes, and panicked residents seeking high ground. Structural damage was widespread across the region. Dozens of houses, schools, and businesses in Modane and Forno were submerged or rendered uninhabitable. In the Lacale area, four homes were directly hit by landslides. Occupants were evacuated, while other nearby residents were instructed to be on standby for possible evacuations should weather conditions deteriorate further. In St. Colomban de Villards, railway infrastructure suffered massive losses. Tracks disappeared under mud and water, and Modane's train station remained closed. The flooding also impacted National Highway 94, where the river overflow tore through multiple buildings, destroying 7 homes and damaging campsites along the valley's edge. In response, French authorities activated their Departmental Operational Center, COD, at the Seavoi prefecture. Emergency response units coordinated evacuations, damage assessments, and machinery deployments from this central hub. Bulldozers and excavators were used to break through natural debris dams to redirect the Charma stream to its original path, alleviating pressure on nearby settlements. Météo France reported additional severe hailstorms elsewhere in the country. These weather events, rare for this time of year, resulted in power outages, disrupted transport services, and inflicted heavy losses on agricultural lands. Humanitarian aid was dispatched swiftly through organizations such as the French Red Cross, and officials remained on high alert for the possibility of further extreme weather. The Italian government released emergency relief funds, and President Sergio Mattarella voiced solidarity with the impacted communities in both Italy and France. The response was swift and multifaceted, but the scale of the destruction revealed just how vulnerable even developed Alpine regions remain in the face of extreme weather. Environmental experts and climate scientists pointed to the broader context behind these events. Institutions like the Sorbonne issued statements highlighting how global warming, combined with rapid urbanization in vulnerable zones and increasingly erratic weather patterns, has intensified the frequency and impact of such disasters. What unfolded in Modane, Forno, Schnitz, Seavoi, and Turin is more than an isolated incident. It is a sobering reminder that climate change is no longer a distant threat, but a present danger. The urgency to reinforce early warning systems, invest in resilient infrastructure, and promote sustainable urban planning is greater than ever.